Simple John. Once upon a time there were 3 brothers who went off to seek their fortune. The 2 older brothers were very clever, but the third brother was not clever at all. His name was John, and the 2 older brothers were not very nice to him. They made fun of him and picked on him and called him names like simple and stupid and fool. On the first day they came across a huge mound of earth, tall and thin and teeming with ants. "Ants are so nasty," shuddered the eldest brother, "and they're good for nothing but treading on," said the second brother. But just as the 2 older brothers went to knock the ant hill down, the third brother stepped in the way. "No," he shouted, "ants are nice. They are black and tiny and creepy and crawly, and they're fun to watch. It wouldn't be kind to knock their house down." The older brothers looked at each other and shook their heads. "Not very clever," one whispered. "Doesn't know a thing about insects," whispered the other one. But in the end they grew tired of arguing and agreed to leave the ants alone. The next day the 3 brothers came across a pond full of ducks. "Ducks are tasty," said the oldest brother. "Ducks are delicious," drooled the second brother. But just as the brothers aimed their arrows at the ducks, the third brother, John, stopped their way. "No," he shouted, "ducks are nice. They have flappy wings and webby feet and quacky voices. It wouldn't be kind to kill them." The older brothers looked in the air and sighed. "Doesn't know a thing about ducks," one whispered. "Not nor good eating, neither," whispered the other one. But in the end they grew tired of arguing and agreed to leave the ducks alone. On the third day the brothers came across a bee's nest tucked into the trunk of a thick, tall tree. "Look at the honey," said the oldest brother. "Now that's good eating," said the second brother. But just as the clever brothers were about to light a fire and smoke the bees out of the tree, the third brother, John, stepped in their way. "No," he shouted, "bees are nice. They are yellow and stripy and sticky and buzzy. It wouldn't be kind to steal their honey." The clever brothers crossed their arms and scowled. "He's starting to get on my nerves," whispered one. "Mine, too," whispered the other one. But in the end they grew tired of arguing and agreed to leave the bees alone. Later that day the 3 brothers came to a castle with stone walls and a stone tower, and standing inside a stone statue, horses and peasants and princes. Indeed, the only thing that was not stone was a little bearded man who came to greet them. "Thank you for coming," he said. "Thank you very much. We shall have some supper and get a good night's rest. Then tomorrow you must try to break the spell that has turned this castle to stone, and win for yourselves a great fortune." The brothers didn't know anything about breaking spells, but they were hungry and tired, and so they accepted the little man's invitation. They ate like horses and slept like logs, and in the morning it was the eldest brother who chose to go first. "To break the spell," explained the little man, "you must perform 3 tasks. Before she was turned to stone, our queen broke a necklace in the forest, and 1,000 pearls were scattered across the ground. The first task is to gather up those pearls before sunset, or you too will be turned to stone." The eldest brother went out into the forest to look for the pearls. They were everywhere, under rocks and ferns and fallen leaves, but clever as he was, he only managed to collect 100 before the sun set, so he was turned to stone. The next day the second brother went to the forest, and even though he managed to collect 200 pearls, at the setting of the sun he too was turned to stone. "What chance do I have?" thought John, as he set off on the third day. "I'm not clever at all." And then he heard a sound in the grass below. "Hello, John," called a tiny voice. "I am the king of the ants. You saved our ant hill, and now we would like to help you. All my people are here, thousands of them, and we will find the pearls for you." And so they did, every last one. "Excellent," said the little man. "For your second task you must find a silver key which the queen dropped in the lake." Again poor John didn't know what to do. But then just again a big brown duck flew overhead. "Don't worry, John," the duck called. "You helped us, and now we will help you." And with that a whole flight of ducks plunged beneath the water and came up again with the silver key. "One more task," the little man said, excited now. "But we must hurry, for the sun is setting fast. The king has 3 daughters, who all look alike, but one he loves the most was eating a little honey cake just before she was turned to stone. You must find her and kiss her." "No problem at all," bzzzt a voice in John's ear. "I am the queen bee, and because you would not steal from us, I will help you find the princess." The queen bee sniffed and sniffed at the lips of every stone girl in the castle, and finally she found the one that smelled of honey. John pursed his lips and kissed the stone statue, and immediately everything that had been turned to stone, including his brothers, became flesh and blood again. And what was John's reward? He married the girl that he kissed, and his brothers married her sisters. And this is how the 3 brothers found their fortune, with the help of the least clever brother of them all. The end.